One of us. It could be me, it could be you, it could be any one of us. But what matters is your environment, your people, your friend, who you choose to help you on this journey. What matters is when you accept and admit that there is something wrong, that's when help comes your way. One of us focus on mental illness, a journey of self-discovery, journey of finding ourselves, and for people who share their story, people who went from mess to a missus, people who went from struggle to success. Please help me welcome my friend Darren Duguay, who is going to share his story with us today. And thank you very much, Mr. Darren, for being here with us today. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for the invitation, Ali. How can I say no to somebody like yourself that's doing the great work that you're doing within our community? And as I see your sign, ocean to ocean.
Thank you very much, my friend, and you are inspiration to so many too as well. You are doing so many things, and from self-help, from coaching, from sport, from always like you are living what you are believing in, and that's amazing. So tell us, who is Mr. Darren Duguay to know you?
Who is Darren Duguay? That's a really interesting question that I often will reflect on, and I think I'm still in that mode of self-discovery about who I am. How I introduce myself within a very special group that I belong to and part of is that I am a spirit. I am a spirit, one of many, from my source of co-creation. And in this human divine timeline, which is a very small period of time that I'm actually here, the name I still carry with me is Darren. And where I'm from is actually the place I reside, which is in this beautiful studio, in this seat, sitting on the great mother of all the Mother Earth. And on the unceded, unsurrendered territory of the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and all the nations.
Amazing, amazing. We need to know more about Darren, like his spirit. What gives Darren the motivation? What gives Darren? You are always going, always like smiling, and tell us the secret before we dive on the struggle and the pain that make you who you are right now. Mr.
Well, tell me about the smile. We could talk about the smile that was actually a great mask and a great disguise of a very unhappy, unhappy child who experienced life. So, a little bit about myself. Well, about 59 years ago, Ali, I was playing in my sandbox in a place long distance from here. We'll call it the spirit world. And I was playing in my sandbox, and I got the little tap on my shoulder. It said, "Hey, Darren, how would you like to become a human?" And I went, "Well, that's interesting. Become a human. Yeah, come on up. I want to see if you want to sign up for life." So I got called up and was asked if I wanted to sign up to become a human and experience, as a spirit, the human journey. So we actually did a contract. I refer to it as my creator. So my creator and I sat down, we came up with a contract. And I agreed to the contract.
To determine condition.
To determine what I am supposed to learn and experience this time round as a human in this current physical form, whatever that means. Still discovering that. And so I said, okay. After a period of 10 months going down a black little tunnel, I landed into the household and the parents of Abel Joseph Duguay, as well as Awida Winifred Trenum, maiden name. And so I was born in a family. At that time, I, quote unquote, had 2 older brothers and a sister. And came behind me was another brother. In a family household in Cape Spear, Cape Tormentine area, and subsequently Shimagui.
Shimagui, okay.
So that's kind of a little bit about me at this present moment.
Amazing. Something got my attention when you said smile. And you said that a mask. And a lot of people putting that mask. Why people like always putting the mask and trying to cover what is outside without having that smile inside first before having it outside?
Well, that's a great question, and thank you for it, Ellie. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a little bit about my journey, implications that came up for me through my journey, because I don't want to be in a position to turn around and to form a judgment about why people are the way they are. Because that would actually be contrary to the teachings of being Indigenous, of which I'm very proud of being Indigenous, Mi'kmaq in particular, and recognizing that whole thing of I don't want to interfere with somebody else's journey. But I can share with you, why did Darren, as a kid, put a smile on his face?
That's what
and
we
the
want.
mask. So if I was to take that smile and take that mask off and do a summary of the essence of some of my, let's call them adverse childhood experiences from about the age of 0 to 12. At least the story that I understand up until this present moment, or the story that I continue to tell myself. Not sure what part of that is true, or what part of that needs to continue to be further discovered, unraveled, as I go deeper and deeper into who am I? So I grew up in an environment, I'm very blessed and grateful to both of my parents, who were probably two of my best teachers, as well as my siblings, and all the different people I've encountered along my way, whether it was school, or whether it was the community of Shimogui, whether it was anything else I was part of. I had amazing teachers to allow myself to discover what is it that I'm supposed to learn through this particular experience. What part of me do I need to particularly connect with? So my dad was a boat builder, was a fisherman, so I really learned subconsciously to become a builder, to be a fisherman, a hunter. And I give that credit to my dad. To my mom. My mom was an incredible mother who did amazing things. She was a teacher, so I became a teacher.
Wow. So you get both the builder, teacher. What a nice combination. No wonder we have this amazing guy here with that.
And that credit goes to my dad, and it goes to my mom, and my siblings became entrepreneurs at one time or another. Fast forward through growing up in an environment that had certain experiences within it. Some of those experiences included domestic violence, including alcoholism, being a child of an alcoholic parent, experienced childhood sexual abuse, which I broke the silence to someone very close to me in 2019.
Wow.
I buried it and never really processed the effects of being abused at the hands of my uncle.
Wow.
And subsequently found out that there were other individuals within my inner circle who also experienced childhood sexual abuse at the hands of the same individual.
Same individual.
I lost my dad at the age of 12 to suicide. And there was a lot of things that I was observing through my eyes as a child that became part of my subconscious programming.
Wow.
I tried the best of my ability to bury it, to tuck it away. I'll tuck it underneath the carpet and pretend it's going to go away. And about 9 months after I lost my dad to suicide, which I'll call an adverse experience, because I'm still not sure what suicide is, I can share a little bit about what I feel is spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical suicide. And other elements of it, but let's call it experiences. I joined cadets in the fall of 1979, put a cadet uniform on, and learning how to take care of a beret, keep a sharp haircut, take care of the uniform, make sure I don't have any double creases, shiny shoes, make sure I can see my teeth in them. Well, in order for me to be able to see my teeth in my boots, I need to smile.
Different.
So, by golly, so smile. And then, of course, hearing a lot of that messaging, smile. But I think ultimately what was really happening within all that, Ali, is that I really didn't want to allow certain people in.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't want to put the image off that there was anything going on. I got this.
So you can.
Ellie, I got this.
It's blocked, so nobody know what's going on in their life.
I became a prisoner of my own prison, and I was the guard.
The only one have the key.
You were absolutely correct with that, my friend.
Wow.
I'm the only one who has that key to let myself out. But by locking myself up in my own prison, not only was I not allowing people into my life, but I also was not allowing myself out.
Oh, wow. I love that.
There's that double-edged sword.
Yes, yes.
Of there is that risk, and hence I would subsequently later in life hear things like, "Don't you feel that?" In some of my relationships, no. I feel what happened is I end up shutting down a lot of my emotions and a lot of the other things I was going through to the best of my ability at that present moment in time. Is to turn around and do the best I can with what I have, with the tools I have at the time. Fast forward through Army Cadets, I excelled. I feel I did fairly well tactically, technically, academically, so on and so forth. But I struggled emotionally, socially, in other areas because I was actually experiencing that struggle within me.
Okay. So the storm was inside and didn't deal with it.
I did not deal with that, and if I was to fast forward, I went to Germany in 1984 as an Army cadet. I came back and I lost two of my friends in the summer of '84. I went into Mount Allison University, first year and a half, and I experienced sex, drugs, rock and roll. I went down a very slippery slope of alcohol. I abused alcohol. I used cocaine. I was dabbling into a lot of other things. I was the one who was causing harm to myself.
Okay.
But at the same time, as a result of that, I was causing harm in my relationships and externally. But I was trying to do the best I can. Fast forward, a lot of different relationships I struggled with because I was struggling with the relationship I had with myself.
Okay.
Ultimately.
So it's all start dealing with the relationship with ourselves first.
Absolutely,
If we don't
100%.
treat it, if we don't fix it, we can fix our relationship with others.
I can read as many self-help books as I want, unless I'm prepared to go within me and start looking at what's going on with Darren, the inner child, the child who stayed in the hospital for a good part of the first couple of years of my life as a human. Until I go down there and nurture my inner child and do the work with my inner child, then things will continue to play out the way that I would prefer not to see them play out on the outside world because I'm not addressing what's going on within me. I can go down that road of letting my ego get in the way, and I can point fingers on the outside and start laying blame and accusing.
Three this way, one that way.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I have to go on the inside. Fast forward, went through a marriage, have two beautiful kids. I have a granddaughter. And then in Afghanistan in 2011, I hit a significant juncture point, and I remember closing the door behind me somewhere in the vicinity of July 26, 2011. My 9mm pistol was slung over my locker. My C7 machine gun was on my bed, and I was deciding which one do I choose. I'm done.
Wow.
Which one do I choose? Do I choose what's going to be my weapon of choice this particular day? And then I end up doing something called I surrendered. And now the journey unfolded much differently.
When you accept and they said, God, I am surrounding everything. I don't know what to do at this moment. You just laid it to the Creator.
I end up, I think the biggest thing is right around that time, Ali, I end up annulling my relationship with the Catholic Church.
Okay.
Because a lot of things that were going on within the Catholic Church was against my values. With a lot of things that were going on with kids. I grew up in a community where the church was the ones who were involved in a lot of childhood sexual abuse. And unfortunately, there was a lot of things that were going unsaid And so I've had some of my friends who are no longer with me, and friends who really did time in incarceration and other struggles and challenges. But I just couldn't live with myself by still calling myself a Catholic.
Okay.
So I said, I'm done. So I know my relationship with being a Catholic, with the church, and I embraced it, spirituality. I embraced a spiritual way of life. And hence I refer to it as a creator. Mm-hmm. I started doing a lot of studying, having conversation with my mom, being asked a good part of my life, are you Indigenous? No, I'm not Indigenous. It wasn't talked about. And to discover much later in life that I am Indigenous, yes, and very proud to be. First and foremost, living a spiritual way of life, mm-hmm, on the Red Road while I'm still here.
Wow. That's amazing. Like that's a lot of people want to see there, and like as you said, like that strong man with a big smile. And thank you, by the way, for being brave and sharing this, like all the sexual abuse, all like your dad's suicide, on your journey. That's what we want people when they are watching this. Don't lock yourself inside. Share it with people you trust. Share it with people that can help, and don't let it and be like a hostage to your past. Because everyone have a journey, and everyone journey is different, but you have to live it, and you have to change what you can change, and remember that the past is just a page in your book. Journey, live the moment, which is live your present. That's why it's a gift. Past is history, future is mystery, and the present is a gift. Live it and ask a friend. I really applaud you for sharing that, and back to that mask, that smile. And when you accept and you surrender, and you said, I want to read my own manual book instead of reading other people's manual, to get to understand who is Darren Duguay, and see the introduction, the chapter, the conclusion, and who Darren want to read. Did you notice a big change when you decided to surrender and want to move forward?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing there with respect to surrendering is that I was starting to die.
When you surrender?
Let me clarify what I mean by that statement.
Mm-hmm.
My ego started to die.
Okay.
I was able to start freeing myself and start experiencing my transformation when I started surrendering my victim consciousness. And that is that whole thing of it's everybody else's fault. It's my dad's fault, it's mom's fault, it's church's fault. You know what? I'll come back. I agreed to all of this 59 years ago. I was supposed to experience this. I agreed to it. I learned. And then it's to go, what was I supposed to learn from this?
What's the lesson?
What's the lesson? But more so, what do I want to do with it? I discovered that I'm here for a very specific reason. I have a very specific purpose. I have a very specific vision and mission. And very blessed and grateful to have inquired that, but it all started as a result of surrendering and letting go. And I have so many people to thank for that. And I have people like yourself, Ali, that we've had conversations with, people within the community, embracing my journey of being Indigenous and being part of the Sacred Sweat Lodge and being in the Sweat Lodge every 2 weeks, plus or minus, powwows, being connected with the Three Mountain Relay, connecting within the community, that social connection, and being able to just continue to grow. But ultimately, I became an educator, and I am an educator first and foremost. The most important person for me to educate myself, the most important person to educate was me.
So you are the teacher and the student.
Well, that is exactly what happened in 2011.
And that's what a beautiful, like to be the teacher and the student. And you're in control.
I came back from Afghanistan, arrived back here 6th of August 2011, Ali.
2011?
2011.
13 years ago.
Is it that long ago? 13 years ago. Oh my God. Where'd time go?
Time fly, buddy. Yeah?
Time fly, buddy. And I think the biggest thing there, Ali, everything kind of came to head. It was just an accumulation of things in my backpack on an invisible level. I couldn't see it. But I knew emotionally, energetically, that there was stuff just continuing to pile up and pile up and pile up, and hit that crossroad in my room, plus or minus July 26, 2011. Closed the door, pistol, C7 machine gun, surrender, and said I would not want to have my kids back home go through what I went through as a kid. What would it be like for my son and daughter back home, who were very young, experience the death of their father through the means of the way I was thinking of going? And I said, I couldn't do it. So I surrendered. Oh, but what about the money? It didn't matter. I turned around and I was repatriated back through a camp called Camp Phoenix. The same tattoo I have between my shoulder blades. Being a phoenix and being my own phoenix, rising from my own ashes through my own experiences and journey, and recognizing the breaking point when I encountered a spirit in human form who asked a question. Darren, tell me what happened out there, because I was being repatriated early and brought back early. Tell me what happened out there. And then the almighty question. Tell me about your childhood. It was a kind of, I think, another juncture point where I broke my silence of, did you ever get any help for that? Let's see here. January 1979 in Little Chimagui, population of 75, maybe 100. Blink, blink, it's gone. No. It was just soldier on. Carry on. Pack it in. Just don't talk about it.
Just go, go, go.
Go, 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 go. And that's exactly what I did.
Never have time to face that child. Never have time to face all struggle.
I struggled with addiction. I struggled with addiction and other things because I struggled with addiction, and I go, 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 and still struggle with addictive behaviors and habits. Why was I doing that? Is because I wasn't ready to face the emotional impact of some of the experiences that happened.
So it was an escape from facing who is really Darren is.
I put all my emphasis in the physical fitness world of me. I trained. I was a bodybuilder. I did the Boston Marathon twice. Go, 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 go. I was physically, quote unquote, as some of my friends here, I'm a freaking machine. I was because I was compensating for what happened in the emotional world, because I didn't have any tools.
Okay.
So what was going on within my physical body? I wasn't checking in within my emotional body because I didn't have the tools to be able to listen to myself and start looking at what the relationship I had with myself. What was the relationship I had with my Creator? I didn't have one. I only started having a relationship with my Creator after I surrendered and after I annulled my relationship of being a Catholic. Now I start working on the relationship with my Creator and with myself. Let's revisit that spiritual contract, that agreement. Okay. And let's make some adjustments to it.
Okay.
Let's start making some changes.
Yes, yes. Let's do some emotional work instead of physical work outside. Do some emotional fitness inside, not physical fitness.
What were those tools that I was subconsciously looking for so I can start listening to myself as opposed to everything else that was going around? Listening to a doctor tell me what my problem was. A psychiatrist in 2011 said, after a 30-minute conversation, only subsequently discovered, diagnosing, you've got this wrong with you. And then my file gets sent back to Moncton, and the doctor, while I'm still standing in the door case, say, I've read your file, and I've got a prescription here for you.
Directly.
What? Is this what it's really come to? Is that you're going to diagnose me, put a label on me, and then give me a prescription drug? I said, no. So I walked away from an opportunity to have a military pension, $80,000 job, because my journey was worth a lot more than giving into my fear of, what am I going to do? I had all the experience I needed to do what I felt I was being guided to do. So I said no to that prescription drug because I knew that was my death wish. I knew that that was going to be the end at one point or time or another. Because if I wasn't feeling what was going on within me, how could I take care of that? How
Yes,
could I address that?
definitely.
With the tools.
Like when we get to know who we are, when we get to understand and accept and surround, that's when the help starts. That's when we said, okay, I'm not really focusing on what's going on outside. I'm not really focusing on other people's journey. I'm focusing on my own journey. You can't pour from an empty cup. Your cup has to be full first. And I like when you make the decision and they said, I'm not giving anybody the authority to prescribe something for me and be my future. Like, yes, this is the people, so people don't take me wrong. Like sometimes if people like sick and the doctor say you need a prescription, yes, if it's really needed, that's your choice and that's the doctor who know. But I'm just saying for you, you made the decision and say, I'm going to start this journey and I'm going to be the one who is in control. I'm not letting my past hold me hostage. I'm not going to let anything like my dad, my mom, my abuse, my church, my everything. I want to let myself the one who is going to drive. And this is what we want to focus to people. Know yourself. If you don't know yourself, do your homework and get to understand who you are and ask for help. Don't escape to drug. Don't escape to alcohol. Don't escape to sex. Don't escape to anything else because that is just badges. Band-aid that you are putting to run away from facing who you are. And
It's the perfect recipe of most likely ending up where you don't want to be.
Exactly. And I'm really, really happy that you shared this with us, Darren, because our show is want to break the stigma around this. Like when people, there is still some country that back home or any, if you say to somebody, I'm going to psychologist, they will think you are like crazy. People like they go hiding, nobody know I'm going to a psychologist or psychiatric. It's normal. It's like when you go to the doctor, you have a pain in your shoulder, he give you some prescription or give you some massage or some cream. Same thing. Go discover your emotional thing because that is what's going on. This is the base. It will reflect outside. And when we focus on that and we start talking about it over and over and over, people will know it's become normal. And we need to face it. We need to address it. And we need to do more of this, some conversation that matter, that the people get help. Because the help starts from you first. When you accept, yes, there is something wrong with me. If I'm addicted, I understand that I'm addicted. I surrender. I like when you said that. When I am a gambler and I gamble all my money, I admit that I'm a gambler, I need help. When I am alcoholic, I admit that I'm alcoholic and go ask for help. But if you think you will figure it out by yourself, you will keep spinning and spinning and it will take you forever. So ask for help. Ask for a close friend if you don't want anybody to share. If you are not ready yet, ask it with someone that will help you. And we'll go back to, you shared something at the beginning about in the middle of our conversation, the vision.
Before you go there,
Yes,
Ali?
yes.
So I want to re-emphasize something that Ali mentioned. I'm not against prescription drugs. And I think it's very important that there's a convergence, that we work together work together in terms of helping someone.
Yes, definitely.
So there is and we use the same sort of concept with respect to the military. If we've got a threat, whatever that is, we need to be able to turn around and get in there and try to neutralize that threat. So there may be a requirement to use a prescription drug or any other remedy, and then do a tactical withdrawal and then be able to utilize another approach. So using a combination of the prescription and non-prescription approach. But at the most important thing, and I think it's one of my visions, is that it's not the coach or it's not the pharmacist or it's not the doctor that's driving the care for the individual. The individual has their innate wisdom and experience within them.
Yes.
And for us to become better at listening to the individual. And there's there's a psychiatrist by the name of William Glasser, Choice Theory Reality Therapy, who had this great book out there. He says, take charge of your life. Don't let somebody else do it.
Yes. Yes, I love that. Take charge of your life. Don't let anybody take care of that, because nobody will take a good care of your life except yourself.
Absolutely, Ali.
And you mentioned too listening.
Yep.
Love that. Listening is the key for everything. Listening to your own emotion. Listening to yourself. Listen to anything that you are doing, because sometimes we work so hard, and if you don't take a day, your body will take it for you.
Right. And if we were to dive in listening a little bit deeper, like listen, that's a very carte blanche blanket statement. Listening. Like, what is that? Listening. Now, what are the tools I have that allows me to facilitate the listening process? The work of emotional fitness founder being Warren Redman. So the listening power, learning from experience, time capsule, dream time, and other tools, including the tools that are developed above and beyond that through the Emotional Fitness Academy. But the tools that I can learn, integrate within my toolkit to be able to listen to myself and listen to others, and have healthier relationships with myself and others.
Definitely. I know like the time is running after this, but you mentioned something. I have a short period of time to live, and they have to live it with purpose, with intention. When we decide to live a life with purpose and intention, we don't have to worry about what other people have to say. I have to focus on what I have to say, and I'm happy with it and fulfill. And when you have a vision, mission, and core value, you mentioned the vision earlier, that you save time and money for your life. Imagine like you are going to Halifax or going to Montreal, and you have a GPS. You set it up to go there, and if you don't have that GPS, you don't know where you are going. It will take you longer. Maybe you are going and you take a right turn. It may take you maybe 3-4 hours to get back on the right road. So if you have a vision, mission, and core value, will make your life much easier. You know who you are dealing with. You know which work you will do, and you know who you will interact with. So vision, mission, core value, if you don't have one yet, work on it. It will make your life much easier, and you will live a fulfilled, connected, and balanced life. My friend Darren, let's get to some of the tools that you use that help you to navigate from that journey of pain and that journey of this self-discovery.
Excellent. So I think if I was to mention things that worked for me was number one, for me to surrender. The other thing is Whiskey Yankee 3A6 or WY3A6. You know all about that, Ellie, don't you? WY3A6?
Yes, wanted to share it to hear it from you for that.
WY3A6 is actually my license plate number. It stands for, summary of the essence, WY3A6. What's your 3A6? In other words, 3A6 at one time was a microprocessor within a computer. What is my subconscious programming? For me to stop long enough and go within, especially between the age of 0 and 7, 0 and 12, what is my story? What's my programming? Because as a programmer, I can reprogram myself.
Love it.
The other thing that's worked for me is semicolon IGY6. It's a tattoo I wear on my right arm. Semicolon IGY6, it is centered around, the semicolon is take a pause. In fact, how about if I just take 7 days and just spend 7 days with myself and with outside on a trail, by the ocean, in the forest. But spend time just with myself and detached. Disconnect in order for me to reconnect with myself. I have this tattoo with the Indigenous Medicine Wheel Circle of Health. So physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. How many tires do you have on your vehicle, Ellie?
4.
Well, in the Western world, for so long, we talk about if I don't see something physically wrong with you, I default it to mental. Well, if it's physical and mental, why don't I just take two tires off your car and just drive on 2? How well will that work?
It will be not balanced.
It's not going to go very far, and I'm not going to feel very balanced. So it's important that we don't just look at one in isolation, but in its entirety, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional.
Wow.
IGY6 stands for I got your 6. In other words, for I have your back. And for us to do a better job in having one another's back. So that's social and family connections. Continue to be hungry as a student. Continue to educate myself through. There's a lot of great stuff happening within our communities. Great work that you're doing, Ali.
Thank you.
Great work that we're doing within a Sacred Sweat Lodge and in our Indigenous communities. A lot of individuals who are out there doing some amazing work in energy work and other things. I truly believe. My brother passed over to the spirit world on the 14th of February of this year. I am, from my perspective, aware of some of the things that happened. Certain experiences create a certain amount of energy that got trapped within the body, and it manifested to cancer. At least that's what we call it, cancer, and it has passed away over to the spirit world, longest walk. So it's about recognize, to be constantly hungry with education, to engage organizations, including the Emotional Fitness Academy, that are constantly developing programs, including the most recent one called 7 Pillars of Self. What are the different pillars I have within me for me to be who I am meant to be and to live the life that I'm here to live? That would be some of the things that's kind of coming up for me at this present time. I think I got that. And for us to continue to be, as I have it from my brother, he shared something. And his words resonate with me, and hence I try to live this. I have lived a good life. For me to slow down, help a stranger, help one another, be of service to others, and experience life. And I know that we're kind of running out of time. Ali, I would love, there was a little message that a gentleman by the name of Jim Lockyer, associated with the 8th Canadian Hussars, shared last year, and it said, write your history. Write your history. So that in 100 years from now, people will know who Ali is. I want to thank you and your team, Ali, for not only writing, but also to do this sort of recording and share it with the world. So we get a chance to hear the story of Diani and other individuals, the mayor of Moncton, Don Arnold, and to recognize that we all have stories to be shared. And thank you for doing your part so that down the road, our next 7 generations will recognize who was Ali, what was his teachings. And so this is a braid of sweetgrass that was in our last Sacred Sweat Lodge, and it brings positivity. So I would like to pass this on to you as a gift.
Thank you.
For the positive things that you bring to me and within our community.
Thank you, Darren, and I appreciate it. And we are here, that's as the community leaders, and you as well, you are doing so much for our community. And we have expiration date that we will leave this world, and we have to leave our own print on this planet. We have to be a positive role model. And I know, we don't have much time, but I just want to share that if you need help, ask for help. Don't be shy. Don't put that mask, because you are not hurting anybody except you are hurting yourself. And talk about it. Share this video with somebody else, because mental illness is just like if you have a headache, if you have a stomach, you have a pain somewhere, just do what you can do to help yourself. And everybody have different imprint on their finger. So because you are meant to leave an imprint on this earth. So thank you, Darren, and let's keep this community positive, and let's share what we can to help this community, and share our story, because it might help somebody that watching now. If you are going through pain right now, you are not alone. Ask for help. If you are going through pain, or someone of your family going through pain somewhere, read between the lines. Try to help them. Be smile. Be kind. Be kind. You never know what people are going through in their life. That smile might be something that saves somebody's life. That smile or that kind word maybe save somebody that is thinking to commit suicide. So one of us is here to share story, to shed light on people like this, because one of us, it could be one day me or Darren or anybody in this community. We have homeless on the street. We have drug addict. We have alcoholics. We have so many people, but they didn't ask for help. Or maybe their journey needs somebody to step in and help them. So Darren, thank you very much, my friend, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Ali.
Thank you.
Same to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.